Hey fam, it's your boy Frank here, gonna do some, I can't even. Hi, welcome back to the hangar. Hey, today we're gonna put the brakes on.
Alright, so here's all the parts we're going to need. I went ahead and painted this stuff up, and we'll talk about how it got made here in just a second. But it's pretty straightforward kind of stuff. First off, this is just 1-inch square aluminum tubing with 3/4 inch holes. Use the same technique that I did when I made that step, you know. Instead of putting the hole all the way through, it's got a smaller hole on the other end. Here's the tubes the handle will actually sit on. The first one's 3/4 inch and the second one is 7/8 inch. I needed that because I want that handle to be able to rotate so I can push it out of the way and get the best grip on it. And they fit inside of each other pretty tightly. It works out pretty good. These actually go on the other end. This is where the brakes themselves are at. It keeps the brakes from rotating around, you know, when you put pressure on them. Otherwise they just spin around the axle, and yeah, they need to be painted. Here's the brake handle. It's pretty neat. It's a 2-in-1 kind of deal. That is to say, when you pull the handle, because of the way it's built, it applies pressure to both brakes equally. That's fine with me. I don't need brakes for steering. And truth of the matter is, the only time I ever use the brakes is when I'm starting the engine and when I'm stopping the aircraft at the hangar when I get done flying. Usually the only times I ever use them. I'm actually redoing this for the camera because I've got to turn it on. The handle is already on the big tube. The little tube fits inside the big tube, and because I painted it, well, don't know why I did that, but it's fitting kind of rough. That's okay, just a little bit of pressure. Now this is a little longer than the others because it's got to fit through the end mounts. And I kind of idiot-proofed this to where the top mount and the bottom mount, they're fit a little differently. And here it's a good thing because lo and behold, that's the one that goes on the bottom. And we'll put the one on the top, and you should be able to hear a little click when it goes in there. Again, I was having some camera issues, so you didn't get to see me drill some holes. But basically, it's just some AN3 bolts right there through the fuselage. It's at an angle. And because it can rotate around, it can get out of my way. So when I'm flying, I can push it to the side. And if I need a better grip to it, I can move it around. It just makes it a little bit more ergonomical. It's a way for me to cheat the system. Here's a drum brake. Basically, this is a bushing that's welded to a big piece of steel, and that keeps it from rotating forward and back. You see, if we put brakes on right now, the whole thing would just turn. That's what these jobbers are for. So all it is, you just put the darn thing, make a couple holes, it'll hold it in place and make it really firm. Let's go ahead and put that bolt in there. And now, it's hard to see, but right where my thumb is at, there's a hole in that mount. And that's where the brake cable itself will go to hold it steady to go to the arm of the brake. It's a simple system and it works pretty darn good.
And that's the brakes. Now, I've got a little things to do. Of course, got to take those supports out that keep the brake from moving forward and paint those. I've got to cut the cables down and make sure they fit, and of course mount them and make sure that both of them are pulling exactly the same. You don't want one pulling more than the other. It's not hard to figure out, but anyhow, thanks for watching. Bye.
I forgot to mention that these bolts here are a little bit loose so that when the axle moves up and down in the channel, the brake will actually shift forward, and so it won't bind itself up.